Hi, I'm Emily Benoit, and today I will be interviewing Rick Lewis, who is a salesperson for Liberty Agro, which is a fertilizer company here in Plant City, Florida. He's had a lot of experience in the past with selling fertilizer and chemical, so we are going to get some insight today on his opinions and his experience with creating product solutions. So Rick, is there anything you want to tell him about yourself, about your past history, experience?
Well, I started out at a level that I didn't know that I would ever get to this point. A very long time ago, some people saw some qualities, and I think that's what sales is all about. There's some relationship qualities that come with sales, and it's not all about convincing somebody of something. It's all about knowing what you're doing and making them feel comfortable with that.
Awesome. So, would you consider yourself a solution salesman?
I think most salesmen should, depending on what type of sales you're in. But being in agriculture and the way that we are, when you're out on the farm or in the packing house or whatever, they're looking for solutions. And hopefully you're there to help fix those problems and make them feel comfortable. And with that comes a certain amount of trust. And with that comes a relationship to the point to where you end up with a customer and they continue to rely on you, and you continue to further your sales.
Awesome. So, can you tell me what role you think product knowledge plays in selling?
Well, it's like anything. I wouldn't want to go to a doctor that would prescribe me something that he didn't know what it was going to do to my body.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a salesman should know his product and what it's going to do, because back to what we were talking about, when a customer buys something, he's spending money and he's needing a return on that money to do what it needs to do in order to make him money. And so we're all in it for, trying to advance our crops or, our products so that we can get it out to the customer to make them happy. And if you don't know your product, you don't know how it's going to react, you should, or what it's going to do, you need to know what the benefits are before you sell it.
Yeah. Do you think that the more knowledge you have of your products and the benefits that they offer, the easier it is to sell them?
Absolutely, because once you're convinced of something, then it's very easy to convince somebody else once you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But customers know when you're not comfortable with what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. So what is one way that you can prevent yourself from overwhelming a customer? How can you tell that they're starting to feel overwhelmed with all the knowledge that you're sharing with them?
Some customers like a lot of information, and some customers just want to know the bottom line. So you've got to pretty well know your customer first of what his requirements are to make him comfortable with what you're doing. So knowing the product is very important, but knowing what the customer is looking for, because there's certain people that you work with, they will tell you, just get to the bottom line. Just give me the bottom line. What's it going to cost me? What's it going to do? And we'll go on from there. Whereas some people want to know, where is it coming from? What is it derived from? What am I putting on it? Is there any poisonous actions, or is there any bad things that may happen to my employees or my customers, or rejections down the line? Some folks want more information, and you better be poised to do that. It's good to know that, but then the guy that trusts you and says, just give me the bottom line, you got both bases covered.
Yeah. So I know that you've mentioned that most of the time the farmers come to you and they know kind of the general idea of what they want. Like they want a fertilizer with some nitrogen in it, and you're like, oh, do you want more? Do you want less? What are you trying to accomplish? How would you use solution selling to a new farmer who kind of doesn't come to you directly with their needs? How do you find out what their needs are and how you can solve them?
Well, one of the things which I call cold calling, when you're just going knocking on doors, when you meet the guy, you ask simple questions about his environment and what he's already doing. And so the reason why you're asking those is to get the information to find out, are you putting out liquid fertilizers? Are you spraying biologicals? Are you organic? You got to know where his streamline is in order to know what you have that you're going to offer. And if you find out what those are and what he's already doing, so how is what he's already doing comparing with what you can sell? Mm-hmm. So the bottom line comes back to two things. How is my product either better or more economical, or both? What is the benefit for you to do business with me? So I tell people a lot of times, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm trying to give you an educated, informed decision so that you can make a good decision for your company, which I hope benefits you, and out of doing that benefits me.
Gotcha. So, as you mentioned, you talk about kind of what sets you apart, and you have to know what they're looking for. So, what is one thing or a service or something that sets you apart, yourself and your products, that you like to tell customers, or what's one way that you can do that?
Okay, I'm thinking kind of the same situation that we're talking about. As you first get started in sales, there's a lot of pressure on you to obviously make numbers, and it takes time to do that. So we have to be careful not to get caught up in the selling and the closing of the deal as much as we're dealing with somebody that you're wanting to create a relationship with. Because return sales are the best sales you can get. And so when you make a happy customer and a satisfied customer, then comes the word of mouth. He'll tell his neighbors and other people about you, and he'll help you build your business to a point, because when you've done a satisfied job at a reasonable price and he's seen the return on the benefit of doing business with you, then that helps you grow your business. So in order to get out there, you really have to sell yourself as somebody who cares about their business and not who cares about the numbers. And I'm not trying to pick on anybody, but unfortunately in the sales world, we have car sales, we have insurance sales, you have real estate sales. So there's a lot of different sales out there that fit a different market. But in agricultural per se, these people aren't going anywhere. And it's not like you're selling shoes on the corner store where people walk in and out. We're selling something that really requires a returned business and a solid base.
Awesome. So, I think that one of my last questions is, do you use any sort of written proposal, or in fertilizer sales and chemical sales, is it more like a word of mouth and you guys just kind of have a discussion about what your plan of action is, whether you're trying to get a certain fertilizer or there's a certain pest you're trying to get rid of, or things along those lines?
When it comes to product delivery, and they're using it for, like you say, pesticide, fertilizer, irrigation, cleaning, line cleaners, whatever, you wouldn't normally use a contract for any of that. They would want to know, what the price is and what the rates are and so forth, which are all on the labels. But if you were working with a company who wanted to bring you on and they wanted to know what benefit they're going to have in hiring you as an employee, then they would ask you to come up with a plan, and they would ask you to come out with something, so you would write that on paper. But as you go into it, let's say that I'm in the tractor business and I'm in the chemical business as well, then we could write up a contract and between the customer and me that said, look, you can't afford the tractors, but here's what I will do. I will write you up a contract that if you buy X number of product from me, and then as you make the money over time, you can pay me over a 3 or 5 year period. So depending on what's involved in the thing, as long as there's something in it, then you would write a contract. But for most of the times, for just a product delivery sale, it's you go in, they buy it, you deliver it, they take it. But in some instances where you're selling chemicals, let's say for application, and they need the application, and you would put the application product in use over a contractual long-term advantage so that you get your money back on your investment by buying the chemicals as well. So a little similar to the tractor story.
All right. So I think that's pretty much all I have for you, unless there's anything that you want to add that you've come to learn about creating product solutions and selling those solutions to other people. Any advice you have?
Well, as a salesman, don't put yourself in a box. You need to be looking out there as to what's available. You need to be paying attention to what your competition's doing. You want to make sure that you're in the stream of things to know what's going on. because if you don't, then you'll get left behind. So if you don't understand your demographics, if you don't understand your competition, if you don't understand what's new and what's developing, then you will be like some companies who get left behind because a new development come out and they didn't want to change, and then over time everybody changed, and now you don't have time to catch up. So just make sure that you're looking at what's out there and paying attention to the market so that you understand the diversities you may have to make in order to stay where you're at.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.